Hey guys, and welcome to week one of the Business Builder calls. Um, so as you know, it's the only week that I'm going to be doing the recording. Uh, but the reason I decided to do this the way I'm doing it, which is make the call, do the call to action, or basically at the boot, is because it's really important to be a part of these things. It's really important to be learning. It's important to be a part of a community and to plug in with people who know more, um, and not necessarily like know more than you do. That's not what I mean. I just mean like we all know more together. So the more brains you have, the better ideas you're going to come up with. Other people are trying new things. And the reason I decided to do it like this really was because of yesterday. I decided to plug back into my elite calls and to the Northeast Diamond training calls. And I stopped doing those because honestly, like, I just got so unorganized for a little while, and that's not a reason. That's totally an excuse. Um, I kept like the calls times kept changing, and so for me, making those with work, sometimes I actually couldn't. And then because I couldn't for a little while, once I was able to, I just sort of fell out of the habit of it, and then I kind of like got in the mindset of like, oh, whatever, like I don't really need that. Like we're just talking. And so yesterday, I got out of work a little bit early, and I plugged into the team call, and I just like let it play while I got my workout in before I could go get Jack. And I made sure to just sit and listen for at least 15 minutes of it so I could take notes. And because as you know, when you're working out, it's kind of hard to even think about things. So what I got out of that 15 minutes was really huge, and not just information and things that I can pass down to you guys, but mainly because I got so many like great ideas and so many different perspectives from other successful coaches that it was just like a reminder to me of like, oh yeah, there's so much more I can do. There's so many more things I can learn. There's so many more things I can try. Um, so that's when it like really hit me, that I am constantly telling you guys, to reevaluate what you're doing, reevaluate what you're not doing. And I'm really not seeing that enough. And I can't help but feel like that comes back to me because I am mama bear of this group. And so, like, don't sit there and think, like, no way, blah. But it's true. Like, I stopped kind of, like, I always try to do things different as far as my groups to see what's going to help coaches learn better, to see what's going to help people be more interactive. So I do try new things. But what I stopped doing was getting out of my comfort zone when it comes to communicating with other people who have bigger brains than me, who have different ideas. People who to me seem like they're like outside of my reality, but they're not, because we all have the same potential as the next person or the last person. And for me, I know that you guys think that it's easy for me to get on a call and it's easy for me to like put myself out there, but it's really not. And it's not something that I became amazing at just because I was born amazing at it. It's because I just made myself stop being scared. And the only way that I could really do that was to just put myself out there and conquer that fear and keep doing it over and over and over again. And so you basically, what Brittany refers to as, is you get your rhino skin, which is basically like that tough outer layer of yourself that, no longer, which my favorite term, you are unfuckwithable, because you're not letting what other people think about you affect you so much. You're not um, following your dreams and aspirations because of what other people are gonna think. You're not scared to put yourself out there and be true and honest because of judgments or what people are gonna say or what people are gonna say to each other. And when you become that person who is unfuckwithable, people really stop caring less. And when I first started this, I was very insecure. I was very depressed. I was very miserable. And people could pick at me and bring me down in 2 seconds. So I was an easy target when I first signed up. And that's why I was nervous to put myself out there. And once I did, and once I really made it a point that, like, I didn't give a shit what people were going to say about me. Even though sometimes deep down I really did. But as soon as I kind of like, I kept telling myself that. And you have to tell yourself what you want to be, right? Like, so if you know, if you think you're shy and you continually say you're shy, if people always tell you you're shy and you believe that, then you're going to be a shy person. If you feel like you suck and everybody tells you you suck, then you're going to suck. If you want to be successful and you tell yourself every night, I'm going to be successful, I am a fucking badass, I am awesome, I'm going to do this, I'm going to make my dream come true, then you're going to do it. Not overnight probably, but eventually you will do it. So another thing that affected me as a new coach and the whole like being shy and whatever was that I didn't plug in right away to calls. I didn't hop onto Zooms that I was able to do all the time with like Corey and Brittany and coaches like that, because to me Brittany was intimidating, and any coach under Brittany was intimidating. And then I finally just kind of like, I needed a success partner. I needed one bad, and Corey was like, I'll tell Brittany to like look for you, whatever. Which probably wasn't a good idea on her part. I should have looked myself. But I then, she found somebody, I wasn't really vibing with them very well, so I put something out on the Dynasty United page. It didn't end up working out, but bottom line is I kept putting myself out there and trying to find new people to work with. And no matter who I've worked with, I've learned things from. So first thing is first call to action, success partner. Get one if you do not have one. If you do not have one, there are, there's the Dynasty United page. You can also be a success partner with somebody in the Direction Dynasty page. I don't yet want you guys to be success partners with each other, because we all conversate on a team call. And I want all of you guys to be able to go outside of our team and bring good ideas back to share with everybody else. You can be a success partner with anybody who is a coach. They don't have to be on Dynasty United. They don't have to be on Direction Dynasty. It doesn't matter. Now, I also want you guys to start plugging into team calls. Team calls are not an option. Team calls are there to teach you. So if you want to be successful and you are wondering why you're not successful, if you are wondering why, things aren't happening moving forward, why you're losing motivation, ask yourself, are you reading your personal development and are you making team calls? Are you listening to Monday morning wake-up calls? If your answer is no, then that is your answer as to why things are not working out the way you want them to. Because team calls and personal development is like the church of coaching. It inspires you, it motivates you, kicks you in the ass, it gets your brain going, you spit out more ideas, you become smarter, you become more intelligent because you are reading things and listening to things and you are learning. So second call to action is team calls. You are to make all of them for the week. And personal development, read it every day, and if there is a team call, that counts. But write down a takeaway every day of the week. So, I started, like I said, finally plugging into the calls and talking with people and brainstorming, and putting myself out there was scary because I was intimidated by these other coaches. But the more I just talked to them on a Zoom and listened to them talk, I was like realizing that they're normal, real people, and I have, just as much potential as them. So moral of the story is that when I plugged into that diamond call again yesterday, that I hadn't in a while, just like listening to what these people were saying about different ideas and different things that they've tried and things that have not worked and things that do work, it was awesome for me because it made me realize, like, okay, you are trying new things, but there are so many other things that you could be trying. And here is the thing, like, this is a business. If you want to be a hobby coach, that's totally cool. But if you want to be a business builder, that means that you want coaches to join you. that means that you want to have challengers in your challenge group every single month. And you don't want them to just be challengers. You want them to come in and you want them to love, you know, what they're seeing. You want them to, you know, feel special, feel like empowered, and you want them to feel like they're part of our team. They are part of our team. They are challengers, not coaches, but they're still a part of our team. So, you know, I guess I just want you guys to really be thinking about the fact that this is a business, and the fact that if you owned a business and you were on your ass $5,000 a month, and would you do the same thing over and over again and keep losing $5,000 a month? Probably not. But because your investment is Shakeology, it's easy to sit there and say, I'll just keep doing the same thing. I'm not really losing, like, you don't think this probably, but like, really subconsciously, you're not losing that much. You're still drinking your shake, so you're benefiting from it. So you're not necessarily losing anything. But then when you're not seeing income, and then you're not adding coaches, you're not building a team, you are not being successful on your terms, then you get discouraged, and then you want to give up, and then you start and you stop and you think, oh, well, that Shakeology is an extra cost every single month, so I can't really afford that anymore. Maybe I will quit. No, you are not going to quit, because you started this for a reason, and if it's not working out, there is a reason. You know, if I hear coaches all the time who are super successful say when they started out as a coach, they never used Facebook and they had like 150 friends. So, what is the difference from them and you? Nothing. We are all just people. You know, there are amazingly successful coaches because they had a kick-ass market, but there's also amazingly successful coaches who knew like 5 people and didn't do anything. So no excuses. You have to figure out what works. You have to always be trying new things, and that is the importance of team calls, Zooms, success partners, plugging in, listening to old team calls, listening to YouTube, whatever. Learn, and take notes. Because if you're not taking notes, you're going to forget. If you're writing it down, you have something to reference back to, then that's great. And these things, these ideas that come firing through your head, write the ideas down also. I know for me, something I've been doing lately, because I seem to have days where I have all these great ideas about things to post about, and if I don't write it down, they'll like fly my mind. So I just have this like ongoing list in my phone, and it's just like post ideas. So on the days that you feel not inspired and you're like, what the heck do I post about? I have done nothing new in the last week, and like all my posts have been just my workout and like my shake and a healthy meal. You can go back to that list. So, yeah. So don't forget your calls to action. Success partner, making the team calls, doing your personal development. And then the last one is inviting. So I know this seems like a lot, but guess what? Hey, these are really just the vital behaviors. So, it's really not a lot. It's actually really simple. So last one, inviting. Now, you guys are going to have, I'm in the process of making a little tracker for this week's call to action. So you guys can print it out, use it, whatever. You don't have to. You can write your own little lines on a piece of paper and do that. But I want you guys to be inviting, and I want you to be systematic about it. I do not see enough public invites at all. With all the coaches on this team, I should be seeing them pop up in my feed often. I don't. And I know it's scary, and I know maybe you feel like you don't have time, I know whatever, but time ain't a thing, and I have just as much time in my day as all of you have in your day. And I have a job. I have a 1-year-old. I have a guy who acts like a 1-year-old. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm busy, and, but do you want to know what I do? Some nights I stay up until 2 in the morning. Some mornings I wake up at 3 in the morning. Sometimes I have a messy house because every time Jack takes a nap, I'm working on my business. Sometimes I don't eat until noon because I wake up, take care of Jack, and then I sit down to work my business. I'll have my shake and stuff. But I'm just saying, you know, in order to be successful, you have to give some things up. You know, when people tell me I can't coach because I don't have time, I'm like, who the hell has time? Like, you know, we all have the same 24 hours in a day, but it's like, what are you going to choose to do with those hours? And, you know, I'll be honest with you, a part of this training is going to be making your time efficient, making lists, working from them, just like sitting down and zoning out and getting your shit done, because it is so easy to waste time. I've wasted so much time today, and it, like, I was just like on Facebook, and then I just like stopped and I was like, what the hell are you doing? And that's why I put that little comment on our page today, like, stop wasting time, because it's so easy to, when you have a business that is, you know, using social media, and like everybody's posting about their life on social media, and like, hey, we want to know what's going on, but that's wasting time. So I literally went from like, I didn't have a list today, no list. So I was like, I sat down to get our sneak peek group going, and I deleted all the old people out of it. But I deleted like half the old people, and then I saw this one girl and I was like, wait, I don't know who that is. I clicked on her profile, got off task, and then like literally 10 minutes later, I'm like, sneak peek, oh yeah. And then I finished deleting people out of it. But the point is like, when you have a task, and mine was deleting all the old people out of the sneak peek group, do that task. Check it off your list and do the next task. Check it off your list. And do not do anything else, anything, until that list is all checked off. And that will save you so much time. And that's why, you know, I think a lot of times when coaches quit and they think they don't have time, it's because they're not being efficient. They're not being effective with their time. If you literally feel like you have no time, well, then work the small minutes, you know? Honestly, I'm a mom, so my biggest secret is going pee. I make my posts probably 80% of the time when I'm going pee, because that's the only time that I like can have to myself sometimes. Rarely, but sometimes. So you just gotta fit it in when you can. And when you actually have time to sit down for your power hour, if you're staying up late, getting up early in the morning, doing it on your lunch break, splitting it up and doing it 15 minutes throughout the day, whatever, have those lists and work from them and kill it. So that I got off track, and that has actually, I'm drinking pre-workout, so forgive me. I'm kind of just going on a tangent. Jessica, I know you're probably laughing right now. So, anyways, back to third call of action, which is invite. I want you guys to be systematic about it. And so, you know, every month there's a team calendar. I do one, Corey does one. You guys are welcome to, you know, even if you want to like pick and choose which events you do, you can totally do that. You can print your own blank calendar or use your planner and write down the events that you want to do. Like I said, team calls are non-negotiable. But as far as like, you know, when there's a like a sneak peek or whatever, and then there's also like, I don't know, a webinar, whatever, you can like choose which one you do. So when I say be systematic about it, use your calendars, write things down, but also have a calendar or a list of when you need to make your invites. So every single Sunday, I sit down and do some graphics, usually Sundays and Wednesdays. So I sit down, take my time, do some graphics, and I know each week what graphics I'm going to need. So if, you know, the second week of the month there's a sneak peek, or there's like a coach training, whatever, I will sit down and make my invite. But you want to keep in mind things like webinars, sneak peeks, free groups, anything that people can do where they don't have to make any sort of a financial commitment. Those are awesome to invite to that week. So sneak peek, whatever I just mentioned, the free stuff, nothing has to be done. They can just join. I make those graphics that Sunday before they're going to happen. And I usually try to get out like an invite that's like, I don't know, maybe I just like I'm sitting down doing businessy stuff, and I'm like, hey, oh yeah, there's this starting. If you want to join, like, let me know. And then I'll do an actual graphic for it that's more like professionally done. Um, but you want to keep in mind, then you have your challenge group and the coach training. So for things like that, you should be inviting publicly at the very least 2 times a week for each. Now, I know that probably seems like a lot, but you have to also keep in mind that it doesn't mean that you have to do some crazy wild graphic for everyone, or even use a different graphic. I want you guys, if you guys aren't, which I'm sure maybe some of you are, I know some of you are, but the one thing I love about Amy Silverman, besides the fact that she's an ultimate badass in my mind, is that she never does like graphics. She does videos, and she just shares. She shares the shit out of stuff, and she does it in a way that's not like Beachbody. Like, she does reference Beachbody, but she doesn't always. And that's awesome, because we all know that sometimes when people hear Beachbody or see like Beachbody or reference like specific programs, that it kind of turns people off and sends them in the other direction. So, if you read through her posts, you will notice like how savvy she is with like throwing out that invite, and it's just a picture of her working out or just a picture of her working from her laptop. So go to her page and check out those examples. So I know it seems like a lot when I say, twice a week for each at the minimum, but it's not. It's realistic, because you have to think of, how many people are on Facebook, and you have to think of the time of day. Not everybody's going to be on Facebook all the time. I think we all have in our head that whenever we make a post, like, billions of people see it every time we put something in Facebook, but that's not true. Like, you guys are all on my team, or our team, not my team. I should never say that. It's not my team, it's our team. And I don't always see your posts, and like I have to actually go to your pages so I can go through and like your stuff. So just stop and think about that, okay? And before you are making your invites, who are you targeting? Who are you talking to? Because that is huge. And so 1 week, I'll throw out something like specifically for dental hygienists. You hate your job, you are sick of the dentist you work for, whatever. But before I post that, I go through and make sure I'm talking to dental hygienists. And that way, when I put that invite out, my post is going to be more likely to pop up in their feed. So what I do, little trick, because I don't have like a Facebook group in my friends for dental hygienists, I go into the search bar at the top, and I type in my friends who are dental hygienists. And every single friend who has their occupation listed as dental hygienist pops up in a line. I go through, hover over each person's name, shoot them out a quick like, hey, what's up? And actually what I have been doing is opening 2 tabs for Facebook, so I don't have to keep going back and forward. So on one tab on my Facebook page, I'll keep that list open, and then on the other tab, I'll have it in my inbox, or I will, if I'm like, oh, I don't really know that person that well, like, I need a refresher of what they're into, I'll go to their page and like their stuff, comment on their stuff, whatever. So that's just kind of a trick that I do. So to help you stay organized, that's going to be a part of this little tracker that I'm going to give to you guys. So it'll have like the events that you can invite to listed, and it will have how many invites you're supposed to have. So you'll just be like checking stuff off when it comes to invites. What Sunday to make them, it'll be for the month. What Sunday to make them, what days to post them, whatever. There'll be like a spot for you to jot down like who you're targeting. Just to help you guys really like get in the habit of this stuff, because it's really building the habit of doing these things. And trust me, it's, I'm working on these things too, and so I need to, with these things, start leading by example more. And I think that all of you can. Oh my God, there's a bee flying around me, so I'm gonna go. I'm pretty much done, but I'm gonna have a heart attack. I hate bees. Okay.